Minnesota Vikings decided to dip their toe into this very deep wide receiver class of 22 by bringing in LSU wide receiver Justin Jefferson, fifth wide receiver off the board after Ruggs, Judy Lamb, as well as our guy Jalen Reagor going to the Eagles. Now I have to hate Jalen Reagor, which really sucks, but Justin Jefferson. Now I caution fans. So there's a couple of things at play here that we're notorious for. We're always like FOMO, fear of missing out. So Troy Williamson, after trading Randy Moss to Oakland, taking him with number 7, way too much pressure put on that kid. He wasn't really allowed. Well, he was bad, but he also wasn't allowed to thrive because it's like, you're not Randy Moss. Yeah. And then Laquan Treadwell, he had the FOMO of the guys that are drafted behind you. So Treadwell, famously rookie year, 1 catch, 15 yards, and then Michael Thomas becomes Michael friggin' Thomas as he's picked up in the second round by the Saints. So this could actually be the perfect storm of all of that. So if Diggs balls out and is elite in Siberia, and Brandon Ayuk, who the Niners came up and took with the 25th overall pick out of Arizona State, if he's a destroyer of worlds, I mean, it is a perfect storm of Vikings fans just like bring out the pitchforks for Justin Jefferson, which I caution. I do caution because that's really unfair to the kid. Don't compare him to Diggs. Don't compare him to wide receivers taken after him. And also, he's probably going to need the most work. In terms of the top-tier wide receivers taken this draft, I do think that his game is going to have to adjust the most when it comes to the NFL coming from college. I did have my reservations. We talked about it before the draft, but overall, it made sense at that point, especially with Reagor off the board. But he does have a high ceiling, but there are going to be some growing pains, especially as they try and figure out what his role is going to be in the NFL with the Vikings his rookie year going forward. But of course, you can't ignore that boom season: 111 catches, 1,540 yards, and 18 touchdowns with the LSU national title champions. Coach Ed Orgeron, y'all. It's phenomenal. Brother of Jordan Jefferson, who was the quarterback for LSU back in the day. But as we like to say on here all the time, we'll focus on the negative stuff in a second. But talk up what the player can do. Surefire hands, probably up there as some of the best hands in the draft. Came up with a ton of clutch catches as LSU went on their national title run in big-time spots. So he isn't afraid of high-leverage situations. Is up there as one of the better contested catch wide receivers in this draft, 92.3%, which is pretty damn good. Also, is a really solid intermediate to deep option. 13 of his 18 touchdowns last year were 10 yards or deeper. So even though he primarily worked from the slot, he isn't the Jarvis Landry. Well, people in fantasy know, like, Jarvis Landry in a PPR, awesome. Jarvis Landry in a standard league, death. Absolute death, and is very adept at picking apart zones. That's how his bread was buttered down on the bayou. He's very quick to decipher what the defense is giving them and just sit in the dead spots of the zone. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. Like he understands how to find space, show Burrow his numbers, you'll be good to go there. So that's all the positives that he brings to the table. And working from the slot, like we said, Joe Burrow was electric last year, Heisman Trophy winner. But Joe Brady deserves a ton of credit for modernizing that offense and just really getting the most out of some really talented pieces for sure. But I'm excited to see what Joe Brady's going to bring to the Panthers. But Justin Jefferson was schemed open so many times, it really is redonkulous. And you go back to a lot of people are saying, well, if they play Jefferson on the outside, he played on the outside in 2018. Well, yes, he did. He played 553 of his 697 snaps out wide in 2018, 79.3%. And he was marginal. He was okay. 54 catches, 875 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But, I mean, if he had a carbon copy of that season, his sophomore year as junior year, he's not a first-round pick. Like, if he declared, maybe he's in the late day 3 mix. Also because he's not a height, weight, speed monster guy either. So maybe that doesn't push his draft stock up either. But 2019, Brady gets this idea, moves him to the slot. 870 of his 937 snaps were from the slot, 92.8%. And also, scheming him free releases of those 870 snaps in the slot last year. He was only pressed on 106 of them. So he was getting clean release after clean release. I'm good at English. Fried rice. And he won't have that latitude in the NFL. Like, he simply won't. Like, teams will have the book on them, especially with the Vikings playing in a lot of 2 wide receiver sets. I mean, when he does operate from the slot, I mean, Green Bay's Jair Alexander, who I love, Detroit's Justin Coleman, there's going to be nose to nose with him all damn day. Like, even on 3rd and 9 are just going to be fully up on the grill. And you may ask yourself, why so many free releases? Well, number one, the talent drop between NFL slot cornerbacks, college slot cornerbacks, because the better cornerbacks in college are generally sitting on the outside. Now, that is changing as teams do, as sub packages more of the base defense, and teams are spreading out the entire field, but also just working from the spread. I mean, Justin Jefferson is usually able to operate against the other team's cornerback 3, sometimes even cornerback 4, because of Jamar friggin' Chase, who Jamar Chase might be a top 5 pick next year. Like, dude is absolutely legit. So if the plan is to move Jefferson exclusively to the slot and Thielen outside more, okay, that would make a lot of sense. But also, I'm not sure why you would move one of the best slot receivers in the league and just move him. If it's not broke, break it. It's one of those spots. And if you watch, Jefferson does need to work on route running. Needs to be better out of his breaks, a little bit quicker out of his breaks. Like he isn't like an amazing physically gifted athlete, but he does need to be cleaner out of his breaks. He need to be better at the stem. Also, I do worry about his ability to create space for himself. So quarterbacks are going to know if you just get belt buckle to belt buckle with Justin Jefferson, he's going to have a tough time getting away from you. So he has to get stronger to get off press, as well as is he fast and quick enough to shake coverage once he gets off of press. So those are all the questions about Justin Jefferson. But again, focus on the bright side. It's going to be a work in progress. And plus, I mean, Vikings are going to be in 22 personnel most of the time. So, like, all the slot talk may be a little bit moot. And I say that hyperbolically, but also maybe not so much. I mean, C.J. Ham and Irv Smith Jr. are going to be on the field a lot next year, hopefully. But Thielen needs to adopt this kid, absolutely take him under his wing once the Rona is over. And this needs to be like a Carter-Randy Moss relationship and just get Jefferson up to speed. Plus, Andrew Janako, his first year as wide receiver coach, this is going to be a monster test. So I do implore fans, do not compare him to Diggs. Do not compare him to Ayuk or other wide receivers taken day 2, day 3, and keep hope alive. This may start out slow, but the payoff could be really big. I still like his ceiling a lot, but maybe a little bit slow out of the gate. But your thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.